Hey Maths Legends, need to make sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's in this lesson. We're looking at dot plots. You're going to be able to collect and organise categorical data. We're going to construct these dot plots, and we're going to actually need to know how to describe and interpret data, which means reading them and actually answering questions. Now we're going to be able to look at making data tables. So it's actually putting your data that you collect into a table so it's easy to read. Really important when we're constructing dot plots. So then we're going to use that data in our data tables, and we're going to accurately record that as a dot plot. Now the best way of doing this is using guidelines to make sure that we line up all of our dot plots. So that's making sure they're evenly spaced and that their heights are the same. And then the last part of our unit today, and what will make you successful, is being able to comprehend questions correctly, and then also being able to read on a dot plot to be able to answer those questions. All right, we're going to look at the first part here, and this is this section on this side. This is called a data table. Now, a data table is used to collect information or collect numbers. Now, the first part of our data table is the first column. Now, our first column talks about the family size. So this is the size of each student in our class. So we're talking about 2 people in our family, 3 people in our family. That's including us. And you'll see that it goes all the way down to 10 or more. The second column is talking about the number of students with that family size. So that means that there is 1 person in our class that has a family size of 2 people, 3 people in our class that have 3 people in their family, and so on. Now, when we're doing our dot plots, that data table is where we're going to get our information from to put onto our dot plot. Now, this is where we move into our second part of our lesson, which is how to draw a dot plot. Now, we always start with our horizontal line, our x-axis, and I'm going to use this color here. Okay, and I'm going to write draw a line. Make sure you use your ruler. That's the number 1 key. Okay, the next thing that we know along there is that that's where we label all of the different family sizes that we can have, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is what I want to point out to you. You need to make sure that they are all evenly spaced. You will notice that all of these spaces are exactly the same. We make sure we label it with every single possible outcome, even if there are no data for that number. The last part, or last 2 parts for this, is our dot plotting of our information. So I'm going to do my best here, but what we need to do is make sure that all of our dots line up. So you can see here by putting my line down, I know it's not straight, but you can see that it all lines up. If I go to the next one, it all lines up, and so on. You'll also notice that it follows a line straight up from the number, from the actual outcome. All right, now, before we start, a really great way of doing this is making sure that we draw like some guidelines with our ruler, maybe with our pencil really lightly, so we can actually see. And then we can put the dots right where the intersects are. And where those intersects up, that'll ensure that they are all spaced out evenly, that'll ensure they're all in line, and then that'll actually make it look good. The last part is making sure that we've got a title down the bottom. So if you've got these things, here we go. You draw your line with a ruler, tick. You put in all of the possible outcomes, making sure that they are evenly spaced, tick. You make sure that you plot your information on your graph correctly using guidelines, tick, and you put a title, tick. They're the 4 things that I want you to remember that you need to do. Here's the same bar graph. Now what we're going to do, dot plot, here's what we're going to do though. We're going to add some extra data onto our dot plot. So we're going to start off and it says Aiden has 4 people in his family. All right, so Aiden says 4 people in his family. Now family size is what we're looking at. Here is our 4 people in our family size. And we are going to add an extra person onto that. So now I'm going to cross it off. So Sophie has 5 members in her family. Here's the 5, and we are going to add. Now we're making sure that we are lining it up correctly, that we're leaving the same gap. Jet has 9 family members. Here is 9. There is nobody in the 9. I can put that one down. Over to Caitlin. She has 2 family members. So here we go, 2. Now let's make sure it all lines up correctly. Trying to make sure our dots all look very similar sort of size. Mitch has 5. Cross that out. Let's go to Mitch. On to Zach with 3. Isabel with 8. The last one is Chloe with 4. Now it's really important to keep those spaces, make sure they're lined up. Now, like I said, if I'm using my pen and my pencil, I'm probably going to make sure I have my guidelines with my pencil and ruler so that I know that I'm keeping everything evenly spaced. Okay, so we're going to look at answering some questions now. And I'm going to get you guys to stop the video and answer these questions as we go along. The first question here, so we can comprehend it correctly, says, what is the largest number of people in one family? The largest number of people in a family, in one family. So what it's saying is it's looking for the family size. So my family size down the bottom, we know it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all up to 10 or more. So my answer here is quite simple. Stop the video, answer it for me. Okay, I'm hoping you had 10 or more, because in one family, the most people anybody's got is more than 10. Second one, let's read it and you can stop the video. How many families have more than 5 people? Now, the real key here is more than. So that 5 is not more than 5. 5 is the same as 5, so it'll be 6 or more. So once again, look at the family size and find out how many people have more than 5 people in them. Okay, let's have a look. Here is 5. Let's put a cutoff line. We've got 1, 2, 3. So my answer must be 3. The last one, how many families have 5 people in them? So it's actually being real specific. It's saying have 5 people in them. So let's find the 5. I'm going to change my color here to red. There it is. There's my 5. Let's count them up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer, write down for me what you think it would be. Should have had 9, boys. Okay. Now, I'll go through the things again. When I'm to start with, I always need a data table. A data table is somewhere where we collect all of the different information that we've found, all the different data we've found. We use our data table to make a dot plot. We start off with drawing the horizontal line, the x-axis. We make sure we space out our possible outcomes. We draw in some guidelines using our lead pencil and ruler. We plot our dots on, making sure our dots are the same size, and then we give it a title. After we've done that, the last part of it is being able to comprehend questions and get the answers by reading a dot plot. We did a pretty good job of that. Good luck, gents, and I'll see you in class.